But that's okay. We're not going to mess around too much. It's okay. These aren't going to be any world beaters, but it's okay. I'll give you something to. And I don't. Okay, this rim seems to be too tight, doesn't it? You know, like that's another thing. Okay, if I was there, you know, I'll be thinking about what I'm doing here more. But like this particular rim, I like it being heavy in that, but it seems to be too tight for what's going on with this pot. It's not that good a bowl, you know, but we don't. But I have to loosen that rim up a little bit, you know. So I think about each of those parts, you know, how the parts add up to the whole. That's important, you know, because that's what you're trying to do. It's sort of, you're trying to make these parts add up to. That's one good thing about a teapot. There's a good example, you know. Taking all those parts, right? The spout, the handle, the lid, the body, the foot, all retaining their identity, but adding up to a oneness, you know. That's what we're trying to do with ourselves, you know. See, gain this oneness. And that's what you're trying to do, see? But we all have to retain our identities, don't we, you know? Or we're out, you know? I learned that with my second marriage, you know? I didn't learn that in the first. The second one, I learned it. And so I'm going to loosen that up a little bit, see? Good. Soften a little bit so you don't, you know, see? I like that, see? Yeah, but I like to soften it down a little bit so you don't, you know, cut your finger, you know? That's one nice thing to do, too, you know? Some of the people I had, we talked with the kids at school, you know, they were cranking out these mugs to make some money for Christmas. They were never even using them. They're just cranking out pots, they're dishes, okay? And I picked them up and I said, look at this, you know. You obviously haven't drunk from these, you haven't used them, you haven't washed them, you haven't broken one, you haven't lived with them, you know. How do you know what you're making here? See, I'll pick it up. First of all, the handle is really uncomfortable. You know, it's like a rat tail. I hate those rat tail things on the right mug, they're okay, but most of them, the mug goes blink, and all the coffee's hanging down here, you know, rather than something comfortable, so it feels nice, and the weight is down here. And, you know, then I put up to your mouth, oh, Christ, you cut your lips because all this grog is here, and you didn't stand it down, you know. Then you look at the coffee table, you just ruined a $500 coffee table with a $3 mug because you didn't take care of the bottom, you know. All that is craftsmanship, you know, which adds up to a part of what art's about too, see. Craftsmanship in your craft, knowing your craft is a very important thing. And thinking about the finishing of things. It is important, see? It is important. And so I was really, and they were my students, which really got me mad, you know. They weren't really my students, they were people that were in my class. They were, I don't, you know, I'm not very tight control on what I in school there, you know. I just, you know, a lot of times I don't know who's in there a lot of, you know, just sort of hanging out, you know. And then I figured out that I was supplying Madison Potters with they weren't even taking classes, you know. I said, are you taking the classes? Oh, no, we're just, you know, I said, they've been here for a year and a half, you know. We wonder, you know. Other people, what the hell, you know. So, anyhow, we'll just mark this about what I want. We'll just see what happens later. We'll get some things going here. We won't make, you know, a whole bunch of these things. So what I did then with the bowl form, kind of the evolutionist bowl form, I decided that I was really making very important this inside, you know. This part of the bowl is really important. And the rim was sort of a secondary of importance, you know. So I think, well, why don't I just reverse that? I'll do that a lot of times to sort of, if I'm sort of on a plateau, you know, a new image will come in. I'll just reverse the assigned responsibilities to things, you know. And so then this form came next. That might be a little wet for this one, but I made the bowl part small, see? And I made the rim large, more important, have more importance, you know. All of a sudden something else is happening here, so I'm changing my mind. I see another form emerging here. Okay, this might be something different.